Здравствуйте, моя товарищ English Department comrades. Today I'm gonna. Well, I have to introduce myself first. My name is Moh Farhan. My student number is 222-222-0021. I'm from class 4B. Today I'm gonna talk about the podcast titled Release of Doom. So this podcast is come from BBC Witness History. Well, there's many another podcast that interests me a little bit. But I choose this podcast because I like Doom too, and I was a gamer myself. Doom is a game that released in 1993, developed by id Software. It's not ID, but id Software, so keep that in mind, don't misspell it, but it's not really big deal, so let's go for it. Before I listen to the podcast, I don't really know what's the story behind development of Doom. But what I know is Doom was really memorable game in gamers' memory. Their fresh concept of gameplay and really beautiful kind of core. Well, in games, core is like really satisfying thing, and that era is not really core too much core in the game like Dooms because it's limited tech like everything else that we call it. In Dooms is you play as a nameless marine, but many games in that era is call him as Doom guy. In Doom series, you have one mission that is called kill everything that moves, or gamers will call it rip and tear. I'm not really talking about so much about Doom because it will be spoiler. So spoiler alert for you. If you do not play Doom set, you better play it. So let's talk about the podcast. So, the reporter in this podcast named Kurt Brooks. Sounds pretty. So in this podcast, Kurt have a visit to the designer of Dooms named John Romero. That's probably in gamers ear, you're probably familiar with John Romero because gamers are playing Dooms, especially gamers from 1990s. So John Romero is gamer designer of Doom himself. So the court starting to interview the John Romero, and John Romero explaining the story behind the Doom development. So he's starting from John Romero, he finished 6th grade at 11 years old, and his brother and his friends tells him to or invite him to the place that where they can play games for free, and they find out that he was college lab where everyone was programming, where everyone is testing a program or coding, something like that. And he asked for a book that gives him basic knowledge about programming language. So he's really struggled to ask for the book because he's only 11 years old, so the college not really believe what he will do with the books. So he asked them 10 times until they gives him a book that gives him a basic knowledge about programming language. So the first game is he go on and explain that he created his first game for Apple II. Well, it's only copy of crazy climber. You know, crazy climber is. I don't know, really know because I'm not really know what crazy climber, and I'm not born in 1990s. So he's made a game that called same like crazy climber for Apple II. He continued in 1991. John Romero made another John. Sorry, John Romero made another John. I mean, John Romero made John Carmack and two others designers. They are also game maker, and John Romero made three guys: John Carmack, Tom Hall, and an artist, Adrian Carmack. And then they built a game company called id Software. And in 1991 they made 13 games, and in 1992 they released Wolfenstein 3D that really not popular in the era. I don't really sure if it was popular or not, but I don't really see that many people are talking about Wolfenstein 3D. When in Wolfenstein 3D, the games where we are fighting the Nazis and hit Adolf Hitler, it's really absurd things to do. back in 1991, they used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they unbelievably destroying the world and make the demon take over. And they get inspired by it for a Doom games, where they do the opposite. In Dungeons and Dragons, they're destroying and make demon take over, but in Dooms, spoiler alert, sorry. During the development, people, especially parents, during the development of Dooms, the people's, especially parents of kids, are against violence in video games, and the Senate of America are also talk about it. But John says, "We are killing demons. We are not bad guys. We are good guys. We are killing demons. We are killing demons, guys. Come on. We are a good guy. We are not bad guys, right?" And the public that heard what John says, and the hype of Doom are overwhelmingly rise. The hype, the gamers are hyped because the Dooms are announced. And finally, on 10th of December 1993, Doom was released on Microsoft MS-DOS operating system OS. For John Romero, Doom is his 90 games. Well, that was hard work paid by his dedication in games. For him, Dooms are really unforgettable things and cannot be separated from him. And he always praised his creation of Doom. And it also will be remembered by gamers of all time. Alright, that's the thing that consists of the podcast of the release of Doom in BBC Podcast. You can listen to the podcast like visual description, or I'll put it the links on the description. And I hope you understand what I'm talking about this podcast. Hope you can enjoy it. Hope you can get knowledge more, probably more knowledge about this story of behind Doom. If they are probably interested about release of Doom. Yes, like me. Alright. Thank you for watching, and stay cool and stay brave. Come